Bang! Neeves Knives, I'm Jared, and we have a whole bunch of knives inside this pack. We are going to get right into. Let's pour all these suckers out and start getting into them. And you can buy any of these knives or gear individually, but they did come from Monthly Knife Club. It is a monthly subscription where you can subscribe to, and depending on how much you want to spend will depend on the type of knives and the package of knives that will show up to your door. I will have everything linked down in the description. So let's start with this guy right here. Actually, you know what? Let's start with this little pouch really quick. This is the Roaring Fire Pico Fire Pro bag. Not much to show, you know, it's just a little bag to store stuff. I like having tons of these around. I've recently started getting into some really good quality bags, like really good quality ones. But these little cheap ones like this are really good to have because, you know, you can, well, one, you know, it's kind of where everybody's going to start off, and these are still good quality, but, you know, you can make a medical bag, you can make an electronics bag, you can make whatever, you know, something that you can easily toss around into different backpacks, vehicles, whatever. Starting with this little guy right here. This is the Defcon, don't have the name. Let me look over here. Okay, so this is the Defcon ultralight axis lock, and I do have to say it is very light. Right off the bat, that's the first thing you notice. There's almost nothing there. It's actually pretty crazy how light this is. Oh, because it's solid G10, there's no liners, and the G10 is milled out. So the only liners is a little tiny liner right here. And the blade is super thin, super slicey. This is actually really cool, but you know, well, let me just talk about the good stuff real quick. The action's great. Thumb studs are placed really nicely. The bearings, you can hear the bearings rolling, but I think on a super cheap budget knife, it's not that big of a deal. Deep carry clip. Not reversible, which is crazy because this is an ambidextrous knife, so they failed on that one for sure, and they should have put flat screws. The blade steel on this is 14C28N, which does really well with this super thin geometry like this. All in all, it's cool, but there's one deal breaker here, and I'm surprised that I have to even do this again. Now, the stop pin hits the edge, like not even like, you know how, like, I don't know if you guys been watching, but recently I've shown some other knives where they're hitting way behind the edge, you know, but you still have life to sharpen off. This has no life. It literally hits the edge. You can see the shiny part right there? Right there, right behind the apex. That's where the stop pin hits. That makes no sense. I can't sharpen this. This cannot be sharpened. Now, maybe for some reason, this stop pin where it is hitting right now, where you see it hitting, maybe if you did sharpen that out, maybe this bar would stop it. I don't know, but I have to imagine there's a reason why they put the stop pin there in the first place. Why didn't they just move it up a little bit? I don't get it, because there was nothing in the way from them moving it farther up so that it hits back here instead of right at the edge. Like, I'm surprised it hasn't chipped off the apex yet, because it's literally hitting it. You can see that little shiny spot right there, that little shiny spot you see? That's crazy. So yeah, that makes this a deal breaker from if you wanted to buy it yourself, just because you don't know. And maybe I'll do a sharpening on it to see exactly what happens with it. Let's get to the next one. Next one is, you know what? That was the Defcon Ultralight. They're saying valued at 55 bucks. Well, this whole thing, everything we're about to show is $65. So actually this thing we can't check out yet. So you got this little flashlight right here. It's feels like it's just plastic. It's very slim, something you could easily throw in a bag. And you know, it just takes batteries, so it's not rechargeable or anything like that. Unless if, you know, you throw some rechargeable batteries in there or something. So it's just a cheap flashlight, you know. It's a, what is it called? A Coast. So something you'll find at your local hardware store. You got the sticker right there, And then what else was there? I think that's it. This thing I don't have. Whatever this is, I don't have. I don't know what that is. Now, this next one is from Bear & Sons. I'm not a huge fan of Bear & Sons, but they say they're made in the USA. If anybody's near Jacksonville, Alabama, let me know. I'd love to know if anybody could stop by their location and find out, are these actually made in-house or are they just assembled? Because that can be deceiving. Are the parts machined here, or are the parts machined overseas, sent over here, and then assembled here? Or are they completely machined and assembled here? I'll say this. I do not know the blade steel because it did not tell me. I'll write it on the screen if I can find it. It's not on the thing. It's not on the knife. The blade finish is actually pretty nice. I do like this. It's like a very, very fine stone wash, almost a mirror. It is like, it's a mirror polish. And then the bolsters are mirror polished. But check this out. Look at this. It came with a screw, an extra screw in there. So let me pop that sucker out. Oh, wow, that thing's in there. So it did come with an extra screw. And then button screws, don't like that. It's not reversible. It came with a scuff at the bottom of it, and a scuff on the blade. The whole deployment is not the easiest to use. I think it's because it's on washers. It'll probably get better. So I think it's just me being used to bearings right now. This is, you know, it's not that it's super tight, but it does feel a little bit more like a slow roll. The hole, you can flick it, but it's just not an easy flick. The G10 is done pretty well. You know, the ergos, you know, it's got this big clip, you know, so it's not the most comfortable, but it works. And it's a hollow ground sheepsfoot blade. I like the blade shape. I think the blade would work really well. I think it could potentially be good. Lock up, a smidgen of up and down, but I don't think that's going to be a big deal, not with a crossbar lock. But yeah, all in all, you know, it is what it is. It is a Bear & Sons, which, like I said, I'm just not necessarily a huge fan of them. Let's go to so that would have been all of that with the Bear & Sons that we've checked out so far would have costed $115 and would have been $182 worth of gear. Let's go to the ultimate plan, which adds this guy in there. Now this one, I actually do like this knife. I think this is pretty cool. And we're going to talk about whether or not I think this package was worth it here in a second. But this is the Defcon, you guys just read it, the Defcon TF44062 folder. They're saying this is a $165 folder. The whole plan, all in all, they're saying costs as much as the knife. So they're basically saying like that for 165 bucks, you get this knife and everything else. It has a Damascus steel, but it does not label what kind of Damascus it is. Knowing Defcon, I will be honest, I like Defcon's knives. I have many of them, and they actually do a really good job. I've even noticed they've done a pretty decent job with their heat treatment. They are made overseas in China, but they do a pretty good job. Now, I'm guessing this is a 10 CR Damascus or a 9 CR Damascus. That's just my guess. I'm not positive on that, but that's what I would guess. It does have a good looking pattern on the Damascus. I can't speak to the heat treatment or anything like that. The handle is a titanium frame lock with a titanium mill pocket clip. There's a lot of spring to it and a titanium backspacer and a little attitude adjuster back there, possibly a glass breaker. Flipping action is good. It flips out really, really nice. Very, very smooth. It's a long blade, but you know, the blade is it a straight back? No, it's not a perfect straight back, but it almost Persians up just slightly. Not really, but a little bit. But the heavy blade, it's not like a super heavy blade, but being a Tonto and, you know, having that spine stretch all the way out there, it probably helps it with the drop a little bit of the front weight, the forward weight. Access to the lock bar is not the best, but it's also not horrible. It's pretty easy. It's just you got to come around the front. I like the texturing, the wrapped diamond look. It almost looks like a katana handle. And it is titanium and it is anodized nicely. I'm sure it comes in different colors. Perfect centering. The flipper tab is relatively comfortable. Detent is tuned pretty nice. But for 165 bucks, I don't see that. I see this as maybe a $120 knife. You know, there's just little details that tell me that, you know, it's just the little details that we all pay attention to. But for 165 bucks to get this and all of that, I'm going to say it's not that good of a deal. Right now, I'm not happy at all because of the first two knives I personally wouldn't want. Now, this one is a Kizer, and Kizer almost always does a good job. So let's take a look at the Kizer Tian. I've had a couple of these. I'll be honest, this is not my style of knife. I'm not the biggest fan of this knife in general. However, I can admit, though, that it's done very well. Great thumb stud action. Like, if you like the look of it, it's a good knife. Good access to the lock bar. The blade steel's S35 VN with this drop point blade. It has a fuller in the inside, but just for looks and weight relieving. Titanium frame lock. Titanium milled pocket clip that works pretty well. And then a polished titanium backspacer with andization and a pivot collar. The flipper tab works really, really well. Nice and comfortable. A little bit of a lighter detent. No, maybe not really, actually. No, it's good. And the thumb studs are nice and grippy. They have a nice chamfer around the edge, very easy to get to. The comfortability in the hand, it's not really made for that, so I'm not going to sit there and scream about it too much. It's okay. It's decent. But it is a Styles design. But yeah, it's just not speaking to me personally as for a knife, but that doesn't mean anything. I don't review knives just for myself. I review them for you guys. So the question is, if it is your style, is it good? And I will say, yes, it is. The bearings are super smooth. The only thing, T6 hardware, not a big fan of the T6s. I prefer them to be T8s all the way around. It does have a T8 pivot though. But all in all, when we're talking about, let's see what this would be. With the Kizer, this would be, I think this is by itself, the Onyx collection plan. So this, they're saying you could have bought this for 160 bucks. They're saying it's a 212 value, and you would have gotten it for, oh wait, no, sorry. Onyx plan, total cost 120. Okay, so you would have got this for 120, not one, wait, I don't. Oh, the total, okay, I read it wrong, sorry. Total value, 160 to 212. That is right. That is what this costs, around 160 bucks, you know, and a little bit up. And then, but you're getting it for 120. So if you just got this, you'd get it for $120 if you got the Onyx plan, which basically the Onyx plan is just buying a premium knife. So you're getting a premium knife for a little bit more of affordable, a little bit more of an affordable price than you would have paid otherwise. So this, I don't mind. This isn't too bad. For 120 bucks, you're getting S35 titanium. It's not bad. It's about on par with some other companies if it speaks to you. And, you know, like I'm thinking about KUBEY and, you know, a bunch of other companies. However, the first part of the plan, I'm going to say this was not a good box. However, check this out, though. I have the other box, another month's box already, and it's really good. So they have made up for it. I wish I could show it to you guys, but I'm still waiting for one other part from it. They definitely made up for it, I think, in the next box. You know, you can't win them all. This is really cool. This is, you know, actually very well done, but you wouldn't be getting this unless you bought that separately. So just considering this box, I feel like you're just basically buying this and then the pouches. Yeah. So it is what it is, but and the flashlight, I guess. Flashlight pouches and yeah. But there you guys go. Work hard, stay tough. Till next time, peace.